I've heard that some people can't stand their CRM. And yesterday, I thought we were going to be talking about CRMs with our guest, Nikki Pacheco. And we never got to it because we learned so much about inbound marketing, and we learned so much about HubSpot and how the top of the flywheel is getting warming up prospects before they call you, email you, text you, or fill out a form. So if you missed yesterday, you need to go back and check out day one of this series, because it was fascinating to learn about. If nothing else, you need to find out what a pillar page is. This is Randy Kirk. You have found Small Business Daily. And we are actually going to talk about CRMs today. We're actually going to talk about automating your sales system and your processes. And to help me do that, let me introduce you to Nikki Pacheco of Culture Connect.
Hello, Hi, Nick. Randy. How are you?
Well, I'm very well. And Nikki, yesterday was fascinating to me. I'm certainly expecting to learn about automation today. I'm going to now be honest, okay? I'm always honest with my people. And I'm going to ask them to ask a question. I'm going to suggest to them that they make a comment in the form of a statement in the comments below. I hate CRMs. We were on HubSpot for 2 years. It was like I couldn't figure out. I have a guy that's helping me with some marketing, and he's got me on a CRM called Leads, I forget, and I hate it. So I'm going to ask those of you who are watching today, would you put in the comments below on a scale of 1 to 5 how you feel about CRMs? If you're a 1 and you hate them, put that down, and maybe why. Why do you hate your CRM? Why do you hate CRMs in general? It's not nice to hate. Anyways, maybe you're a 2 and you're kind of with CRMs. Maybe you're a 3 and sometimes you like it, sometimes you hate it. Maybe you're a 4 and you've really adjusted to them and understand them and can use them. Or maybe you're a 5. Maybe you're like a superhero and you really, really know how to use a CRM and use it to your advantage, and it's really making you a stellar salesperson. But I'd love to hear from you about where you are in the process of the CRM world. And Nikki, you were telling me the other day that a lot of people, there's that other brand out there that you don't have any sales something.
Force.
Salesforce. So Salesforce is the biggest in CRMs. They've been around for a long time, and I don't want to knock them, but what do you hear from others that maybe they're just too complicated?
Yeah. So when we're talking about the CRMs, Salesforce comes up all the time. And like you said, we don't want to knock them. And I think there's definitely a place for them. The biggest difference between the Salesforce CRM and the HubSpot CRM is HubSpot, right out of the box, you can have your whole team set up, organized, easy to use, piece of cake. Now, on the Salesforce side, what I've heard is it can work really fabulously, but there's a lot of custom development that needs to be done to be able to make it work specifically for your company. What's great about HubSpot is the out of the box works great, but you also have a possibility, if you wanted to, do something some other way, to be able to also add on any type of custom development that you want to yours.
So for those of you who don't already know it, for about the last 20 years, really strongly for the last 15 years in marketing, there's this whole philosophy of marketing, which is give it away, and then give away the details of your knowledge in whatever subject matter you are an expert. Give that knowledge away in your blogs, give it away on your website, give it away on your YouTube videos, give it away right down to the secret sauce, because 20% or 30% or 40% of those people might go ahead and DIY it, but there's going to be a huge percentage of those people that are going to say, I don't want to do that. I need to hire it done. So Nick,
Mm-hmm.
Culture Connect becomes that done for you side, right? So if I get to a
Absolutely.
spot and I'm frustrated and I don't like to do that kind of stuff, then I hire somebody like Culture Connect in order to help me get set up. You were telling me the
Yes.
story of a recent client you just set up.
Oh, yes. I just got off the phone with him, well, yesterday, and he was able to, like, on the phone, we took his list of 1,700 people. Okay. I made sure that when we uploaded the list, it was so clean. So we have, first name, last name, we have title, job title. We have, you could have their favorite ice cream if you want. And so when we were on the phone, we were able to take that list of 1,700. We were able to create a custom list just by checking off a couple of properties, job title specifically. And in less than 30 seconds, he was able to have a list of 291 of his people that are specifically property managers. Now, that is, to me, when I see the beauty of a CRM, when you're able to, in less than 30 seconds, grab a list of your property managers. And on top of it, I was teaching him how to send out a email, to those property managers. That took 8 minutes. And that's just because I was walking him through it. Once he gets the hang of it, he can be sending out emails to 291 people in less than 5 minutes. And that's so awesome about HubSpot, because you have Culture Connect and we're dealing with more of the big picture stuff. So we can, onboard you. We can create the sales sequences that are automated for your sales team. But then at the same time, your sales team can be doing their own things in HubSpot as well. And I think that's what makes HubSpot work, is that you could have the big corporate side of things, and then you could have the one-on-one tool for the salespeople as well. It's not something. Go ahead.
So I'm old enough, obviously. No, I'm kidding. So I'm old enough to where I would call on a client. I would have a little index card, and I would write down his information and take that back. And in fact, I'm old enough that there wasn't even a computer to put it in the early days of my career. And then later on, there was some kind of computer to put it in, and then eventually there became bigger computers. But now what you're saying is that we want this to all be automated, which frees up the employee or the salesperson or the customer service person to be able to do higher level tasks.
Exactly. And more tasks. So because some of these emails are automated and they look personalized because we put in all of the tokens, to their first name, their kid's name, it could be a token. That's how detailed it looks like it's coming, from Randy Kirk, even though it's an automated email that they just got put into this sales sequence. So that allows them to either do higher tasks or do more selling. Like, we want to make money, right? So let's give them the tools to make it easier for them to reach more people.
Okay, so now the database becomes important, and that, of course, is the part that would just drive me nuts. Okay, and that's probably why I don't like CRMs. So somebody needs to load this database, and that could be Culture Connect, working with employees of the company or whatever. Or again, it could be DIY if the company feels they have the staffing and the right people on board to be able to do this, but it's not complicated.
Right.
To set up the databases. It's just could be mind-numbingly boring, or it could be
yes. Yes. For onboarding, there's so many ways that can be done. Like, we could have calls, like Culture Connect can kind of teach you guys how to onboard yourself. That's one way that we do onboarding for the DIYers who want to do it the right way, but don't want to pay somebody else to do it. So we could do a few phone calls, walk them through. The other way is we do all the onboarding for you. And so that means when you're sending over the list, we are reviewing it and making sure it's proper. And if it's not, hey, this needs to be fixed. Okay, send it back. Okay, good. Once it's in, we're also building your deal stages. We're building your automated sequences. We're building out your email templates. So when Joe sends out an email, it's not going to have like Coca-Cola's logo on it instead of your company's logo, right? So we kind of offer that full service onboarding as well for the Sales Hub and the CRM.
So then for those of you out there that have never played with a CRM and maybe don't have really much of a clue about how a CRM works, we're basically talking about the ability to create a funnel, our stages, or some people call it a sales process. I mean, if again, in the old days, if I'm a salesman and I make the first call and I don't get the order, I might pick up the phone a week later, and if I remember to pick up the phone, or the next time I'm on the route, I might go walk back in the door again and talk to the person again, and hopefully maybe get the sale. But there really, in my history and in my understanding, there's never really been sales processes that were so detailed. So now instead of that, we have a beginning place where the person comes into the sales process, and that could be a phone call with the salesperson or a customer service person, where they're making notes about what's going on. And then they click a button which says, okay, start this automated email sequence.
Exactly.
Or it could be an email followed by a text, followed by a task that tells that person to call, followed by another email, followed by a letter, followed by a gift basket.
Yes, exactly. And I want to share with you another client. He was a middle manager, and the owner, they just recently signed up for HubSpot, and the owner especially was a bit reluctant because at first you just don't see the value. All you see is that big price point. Okay. Well, not even a month into it, I get the call from the middle manager. Guess what? We just closed the sale. Okay, great. Why? It's because of the deal stages and the automated sales sequence funnel. A task popped up on his phone because it also comes with a mobile app. Said that you called this person, you need to call them again today. He called them. The people are like, oh, we sent over the proposal or the signed proposal. We want to work with you. And they never had actually sent over the proposal. And so because this sales manager called, he closed the sale. And if without that HubSpot tool that's automated, because he's a busy guy, he has so much to do, he's not going to be checking his deal funnel every 5 seconds, right? And so that deal was closed because of that HubSpot task that told him to follow up.
So historically, we've heard that it takes 7 touches to close a deal. I'm talking to a guy who's a sales manager on steroids kind of guy. He's like writing books about how to sales manage. And he's saying that in today's world, because we're so online, we're so email driven, whatever, that now it might take 17 touches to close the deal.
I believe it.
But whether it's 7 or 17, the breakdown typically happens, even by the best professionals, is that if they don't have a systematic way to make those 7 touches, it's probably not going to happen.
Absolutely. And that kind of brings us back to yesterday's talk about inbound marketing. There's so many ways that you can touch a potential client 7 times, because it's not like, call me, let's get on the phone. With inbound marketing, you have so much of those blog pieces that you built. You have so many of those landing pages that you built that some of those touches can be, goodwill, sharing information, educating. That's the type of thing that people, they may or may not click on, but you're going to be in their mind because you're providing value to them. You're providing freebies to them. And so that's all part of that sales sequence funnel. Yes, you're calling. Yes, you have to call. But in between those phone calls, there's so many opportunities that can be automated information. And so.
Yes. So the automation part, though, if nothing else, if it didn't do anything else, it makes sure that those touches continue to happen.
Absolutely.
Which a typical salesperson, I am one, a typical salesperson is like, oh, they didn't call me back, I'm on to the next one.
Yes.
Or, I'm too busy to call this guy back. He didn't like me anyway. I always claim it's the the deodorant effect, and it's especially true for men. It's like you leave the call and you didn't sell anything, and you're wanting to know if you should change your deodorant.
Exactly.
They didn't like me anyway.
Right.
So,
And it could have just been a follow-up or a miscommunication, just like my client.
Yeah. And so if the salesperson is commonly going to be, a major reason why companies succeed or fail. But even the best salespeople have all these dramatic issues. I'm sorry, salespeople are the drama queens of the world. Okay, just there's always something that's keeping them from making the sale. And again, I can say this because I've been a salesman my whole life. So anyway, so HubSpot then gives you this funnel, these automated sequences of not only things that are going to go out, you don't even know they went out, they just did, and also tasks that are going to remind you today's the day to call. So now, Nikki, I think we can wrap this up in 2 days if we spend a few minutes on the third part of the flywheel. So now we've landed them. They're a customer.
Yes, because of all that great follow-up.
And so now they're a customer, and now what? Now what can happen to that customer if we don't do what HubSpot suggests?
So the last part of the flywheel is we want to delight, right? Because if your customers are not delighted, they're not going to be referring you. They could even cancel the contract with you, Yep. So how do we delight? How do we delight people? We need to provide spectacular customer service. So the third part of the HubSpot flywheel is customer service. And what Customer Service Hub provides is a way to ticket. So you're not, getting unhappy customers just forgotten about or dropped. So you can set up a ticketing system that will route the tickets automatically to your different customer service agents. And it's the reporting on HubSpot we haven't talked about much, but you will be able to see, where your clients are becoming unhappy. Why are they? Is it a specific customer service rep? Is it a specific, part of your business that's constantly getting, tickets submitted? Right. So it's just a really good way to figure out where those hiccups are in your business, and to be able to fix that so you can continue to delight your customers. Because once they're delighted, they're going to be sending more strangers in.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, everybody that knows me knows I love Constant Contact, even though it's not HubSpot. I'm sorry, but as an email blasting platform, I love them. But what do I really love about them? Oh my gosh, their customer service is amazing. And I tell people that. I say, yeah, there's Aweber, there's HubSpot, there's lots of ways to do email blasting. But I started with Constant Contact, I don't know, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, and their customer service, you pick up the phone and they're amazing. Okay. So every company should be looking for that. The number one way that you can determine how profitable a company is without looking at their profit and loss is by answering the question, by having their customers answer one question: would I recommend this company to my friends? If they recommend, if they say, I would recommend this company to my friends, that client is not only successful in the sense of adding clients and adding sales and getting referrals, but rather that client is going to be, or that individual company is going to be more profitable. They've done the research. They will be the most profitable in the category. I think we can think of companies like Apple and others, who have shown this over the years. So we want to bring them around. We start out inbound marketing. We bring them around. They come through the sales funnel, which is now automated and has a sequence and a system to it. And now they're our client, they're our customer. We want to delight them. I love the word delight. It's such a great word. So we want to delight them in the way that we deal with them on a customer service level. And this is primarily done through a ticketing system, which sets up tasks, but also talked about one more thing, and then we're going to need to close. And that is an elaborate FAQ.
Yes. So the other part of the customer service section is a knowledge base. So people can go to your website, they could type in questions, and it can spit out the answers for them. So this actually helps your customer service department because they're not going to have to be answering questions over and over and over and over again that are already in the knowledge base, especially in this day and age with more people working from home, a lot of noise in the background. Not everybody wants to pick up the phone. So this is a really good way to help with that customer service experience, to be able to go to the website. When a question can't be answered, they can do a chat, which is also included in the customer service side of the hub. You could chat directly with your customer service team. It can automatically be, those chats are routed to all of your different customer service individuals, and obviously all automated. And then the last part of the customer service, which I think is so important, is a huge how to measure and improve your customer experience. So that's where the surveys come in. To this, there's custom reporting for NPS surveys, for customer experience surveys. So that is how you can create what you were saying, Randy, that delight. And the only way to do that is to have amazing customer service. And you can't have amazing customer service if you don't know where it's getting held up. So that's why these surveys are so important.
Well, anybody that's been watching you for the last 2 days, I'm sure Nikki would say she probably gives amazing customer service because she's a delightful person. So
thank you, Randy.
so excited to have you on for 2 days. I've learned so much about HubSpot, so much about the CRM and how it could be used to my benefit if only I would hire somebody to take care of it. Maybe
Yes.
Anyway, so all I'm asking you folks out there in the audience today is, if you felt like that helped you with the CRM, put that in the comments. If you're still thinking, boy, I don't know about CRMs, maybe put that in the comments. And then like the show. You like Nikki, right? Even if you don't like me,
yes.
You like Nikki. So like the show and then subscribe and then push the notify so that you'll find out about tomorrow's show. And I think tomorrow's show, if I remember right, might be your husband, Jorge.
Yes, so you'll be in for a treat.
I think Jorge is going to come on tomorrow and he's going to talk about legal jeopardy from the failure to have an ADA approved website. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And thank you again, Nikki, for being on the show. And until tomorrow, this is Randy Kirk with Small Business Daily.